I'm sitting with my money in a sealed-off savings account, and it hasn't been touched for nearly 2 years, in fact 2 years next month. And so I get a call from the bank one day, and bearing in mind that there's nothing I could have done about that, I mean, you know, it was safely tucked away as I thought. And it's easier for 4 strangers to go into the bank and get my money, get it all signed over to them, than it is for me to get through to the bank, because when I ring through, I've got to answer about 8 or 9, you know, really obscure security questions.
And this is what's happened, isn't it? Somebody, they literally walked in, I mean, does that look anything like Gloria for a start? And took... wiped
the thing is that
out.
it was just signed over to them. The whole account was just signed over to whom she said was her grandson. Now, as a scam, I know that the scammers are very, very clever these days. But, you know, the thing is that she said her daughter was with her. Well, sadly, I don't have my daughter anymore. If she was going to scam and try to look like me, she should have had a wig that looks colour. I don't have a wig, by the way, but it's all my own hair. So I don't understand any of it. And it meant that she produced a driving licence, and I haven't been privy to the driving licence.
She didn't have to have a bill with her. I mean, I was the...
Well, one would have thought so. And so the teller in the bank literally filled in some form or whatever and handed the whole account over to her alleged grandson. Now, this lady and her alleged daughter are on the run. The police haven't got them yet. The 2 boys in question were caught, and they've been in court, and they were at the High Court. At the Old Bailey, actually, just last Friday.
And it was £120,000 just handed over? Just handed over. In cash?
Well, not in cash. I assume they just transferred it. They apparently had the number, they just transferred it through the bank. So it wasn't even Santander that called me or who alerted it. It was the other bank of this boy. And they said this boy's account doesn't usually have 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 40,000, and they alerted Santander, who in turn alerted me. And in all fairness, they gave me the money back. But one of my sons said to me, well, you've got the money back. I mean, why bother? And I went, it's the principle of the thing. That you're sitting at home thinking, you know, that your money is safely locked away in a savings account. I don't do banking online. If it had been an account that I was using every day, I might have understood it. But, you know, because I do consumer programs, what I do want to say, and this is my opinion, of course, is that banks will have to up their security tactics. Because I think you'll agree with that, because they've nothing to give you these days, no interest to give you for savings, and the only thing they have to offer is trustability, safety, and the knowledge that you can trust your bank. I'm afraid, from my point of view, I have lost all faith in banks, because there's nothing I could have done about this. I was a sitting duck innocently.
Gloria, is it all being resolved now, though, for you?
Well, it's not resolved for me in my head, because I feel violated.
Yeah, of course you do.
I have no trust for the banks.
I get that, because though you've got the money back, we were away in America, actually, a couple of years ago, and somebody got £5,000-6,000 out of the account. And again, the bank put it back in, but it did leave us feeling vulnerable. We were away at home. We thought, well, what else do they know about us? How have they measured it? Are they at the house? What else have they got? So
absolutely.
I don't think it's just about getting the money back, is it?
No, it's not. It's the principle of thing. Have you experienced that?
Yeah, I just find it amazing they got away with it, because loads of times, this hasn't just happened once. Paul and I have been in a queue in a bank just to get, you know, £20-30 out of cash, and the whole queue have been saying, oh, hello, Paul and Debbie, can we have an autograph? Sign the autograph. Get to the cashier and say, you know, here's the card, can we get whatever, £30 out? And they've said, well, where's your ID? And we said, well, everybody in the bank knows us, you know us. They've gone, hello, how are you? But no, not with your ID. So
But that's right, really, isn't it?
Of course it's right. That's the dichotomy, because if I go to my local bank to make a transaction of any kind, you know, or to buy an ISA, for example, they'll go, do you have your passport with you? Even though she's like my sister. So it's a dichotomy that in one case the banks are responsible. Of course they are sometimes. But in my case, I'm afraid to say, and I stress, it's my opinion as to how I feel. I just think that banks have lost a lot of trust, as far as I'm concerned. What about you, Lisa?
Yeah, I did have the bank on side, and I will say they did look after me for my personal story, but I was away in Europe, and I was at this flamenco show, and you paid for the 3-course meal and obviously the dance show itself. And then at the end of the night, comes over €110 per person, and he has the machine, and he goes like this, and he says, oh, sorry, I have no internet connection. So he took my card and the machine, OK? Came back, and then he went, OK, and you put the PIN number in. I get home, I find that 9,000 plus off my MasterCard had been taken. So they zoned it back to this flamenco show that I'd been to, and I did get all the money back. And the great thing about the story is the fact that my bank realised, because they tried to attempt to take a car insurance for a year off the MasterCard, and basically I don't drive. So I was very lucky, you know. Yeah. But I think you always must keep checking your statements, because you never know. There's so many, and you working on the scam programme, I mean, you know that.
I really am diligent about security and everything.
Of course.
And I would just say to you that if you think your money is just tucked away and nice and safe, it's not necessarily.
If you've enjoyed that, then why not click here for more? And don't forget to subscribe by clicking here, so that you never miss out on the best Loose Women moments.